Over the past few years, as I have learned more and more about ethical fashion and what I call kind of purchasing with purpose, I've simultaneously learned more about the impact of our daily habits on the environment. Now listen, before you stop listening because you think that I am a crazy run in a field of sunflowers, hippie tree hugger, understand that I am actually not. But I also want to say to my dear friends and listeners who enjoy running in a field of sunflowers and are self-proclaimed hippie tree huggers, I don't want you to think that I'm saying that in a negative way. I am not at all. I love you. I like to think of myself as crunchy light, as in I'm a little bit crunchy, but I can't fit all my trash in a mason jar. Does that make sense? Are we tracking? Regardless, the facts remain. We, as in kind of this collective humanity, produce way too much waste. We create so much waste. We don't recycle enough. Actually, only about 1 in 5 plastic bottles are actually recycled. We throw out literally tons of clothing and textile waste every year, and we just dispose of our stuff without thinking about the impact that stuff has on the environment. When I went on my last trip to Kenya in 2017, I was able to visit the Dandora dump, which is the largest landfill in East Africa. I will be honest that it was one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen in my entire life. I've shared pictures of the dump on social media before on my blog, so you can see it. And the pictures truly don't do it justice. It's waste upon waste upon waste upon waste. It was such a life-changing experience for me that it really made me think twice about my own habits. Now, I've said this before and I will say it again, but I believe that we are to be good stewards of this beautiful earth that God has created for us. And while I am nowhere near perfect, I really do believe that if each of us make little changes here and there in our daily habits, we can collectively make a massive difference. Welcome to Business with Purpose. I am your host, Molly Stillman of Still Being Molly, and this show is all about bringing you the stories behind the brands, companies, and small businesses that are changing the world. Now, normally each week I interview an entrepreneur, CEO, nonprofit director, community leader, or just an incredible person who's trying to make a positive impact not only through their personal life, but also with their career. My goal is to show you that no matter what you do for a living, you can make an impact right where you are. Well, guess what? This week is episode 150, guys. Episode 150. And as you know, every 10 episodes, I do a solo episode. And since we are in the month of July, and at the beginning of the month, I had Sarah Rhodes of Plastic Free Cambodia on the show. You can go back to episode 147 to listen to that interview. And we talked about something called Plastic Free July. Now, this is actually something that I had never heard of before, but the more I looked into it, this is a movement of people who try to go plastic free during the month of July. Now, I know this episode is airing towards the end of July, so if you did not do Plastic Free July, that's okay. But it got me thinking about, let's talk some more about ways that we can begin to individually reduce our impact and our waste and reduce the negative impact that we have on the environment. Because there are lots of little things that you can do each and every day to reduce your impact. And it's things that are really simple. They just take a little bit of forethought, and it's something that really, when you do little by little progress, it adds up. It adds up. So on today's episode, I'm going to give you 31 ways that you can live more sustainably and reduce your negative impact on the environment and live with less waste. Now, by the end of this episode, you're not going to be able to fit all of your trash into a mason jar at the end of the month, but hopefully there are a few things that you can take away that you can implement and just creating a lighter carbon footprint in your own household. Now, since I'm going to be naming off 31 things, if you are driving, please don't write and drive while you're listening to this episode. If you're listening at home, maybe have a little notebook by you or bookmark this episode so you can come back to it. You can always reference the show notes because I will have all 31 things listed in the show notes for you. So if you miss one, don't worry. Now, before we get into the 31 things, I want to quickly introduce our sponsor of the show, and that is the Happiness Planner. Now, the Happiness Planner is one of my absolute favorite brands because they design the most beautiful, inspirational planners, journals, and notepads. I personally love the Happiness Planner because it helps to keep me on track and find joys each and every day. They also have journals that focus on different themes such as confidence, gratitude, growth mindset, and purpose. Great tools to help you become more self-aware, happier, and feel more fulfilled. Now, for those of you who like to use apps, which I am currently raising my hand because I am that person, the Happiness Planner is also available as a mobile and web app. Now, how is it different from other calendar and to-do list apps out there? Well, on top of your schedule and to-do list, which I am all about, it comes with functions like monthly goal setting and reflections, meals and exercise recording, gratitude journaling, happiness, health and energy level trackers, and daily inspirational quotes and articles. You can check out their web app at thehappinessplanner.io or download the mobile apps from the App Store or Google Play. You can also download their printables for free 99, that's free, from their website at thehappinessplanner.com and use the coupon code LIVEWITHPURPOSE for 10% off your purchase from the Happiness Planner. Now on to our list of 31 ways to live more sustainably and reduce your negative impact on the environment. You guys ready? Okay. Number 1, use reusable straws. Okay, I switched to reusable straws a couple of years ago, and they are amazing. You can get glass straws or aluminum straws on Amazon, and they are awesome. I always have one at home. I throw one in my bag to use at restaurants, and when a waiter or waitress offers you a plastic straw, just say no. There was actually a documentary that was created a couple of years ago called The Straws documentary. You can look it up. And it was an entire documentary about the negative impact that plastic straws are having on the environment. The trailer alone made me think twice about ever using a plastic straw again. So switch to reusable straws. All right, number 2, bring a fork and knife with you to restaurants that use plastic cutlery. Okay, I know people might look at you a little crazy, but seriously, bringing a fork and knife with you, just having one in your bag. You can go on Amazon and look for portable fork and knife sets, and you can bring it along with you, and not using plastic cutlery is a great way to reduce your waste. Number 3, switch to reusable water bottles, a reusable coffee mug, or a reusable drink tumbler. Now, I am not a coffee person, but if you are somebody who goes to your local coffee shop and gets a coffee every single day, bring your own reusable coffee mug. Same with water bottles. Travel with a water bottle that is reusable. You can fill it up at water fountains. And for me, everybody that knows me knows I love a fountain Diet Coke. So guess what I actually have is a reusable drink tumbler that I take with me to restaurants, and they are always more than happy to let me refill my Diet Coke in my reusable drink tumbler. And that's just one way that I can reduce my waste by using that reusable drink tumbler. Okay, number 4, speaking of coffee, for my coffee lovers, switch over to pour over coffee or French press coffee. Now, I will be honest, I am not a coffee drinker, so that means that is basically a foreign language to me. So I'm assuming my coffee lovers are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But moving on to number 5, because this is a language I speak, and that is tea. So for my tea lovers, switch to loose leaf tea instead of using tea bags. Number 6, switch to zero waste bath products like Plain Products. So I actually had Lindsay from Plain Products on the podcast over a year ago. I have talked about Plain Products forever, it feels like, because I have personally used their products. I currently use their products for over a year and a half, and I love them. They are refillable, reusable, zero waste bath products. Shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, hand soap, body wash. They're incredible. Basically, you order the product in the scent that you want, and then when you're done and you order a new one, they send you a box with your new product, and then you send your empty container to them. They give you a prepaid label, and you put it back in the box and you mail it in. It's so easy, and then they reuse it, refill it, all of that. And not to mention, are not just the fact that there's zero waste, but the products work and they're really amazing and they smell so good. I actually still have a promo code for you. So if you go to stillbeingmolly.com/plain products, that's PLAINE products, stillbeingmolly.com/plain products, use the coupon code Molly for 20% off and try that out. Okay, number 7, along those same lines, switch to refillable home products like soaps, household cleaners, things like that through brands like Cutlery or Mama Suds. Cutlery I have talked about on my blog. They are actually based here in Durham, North Carolina, but you can order from them online. If you're in North Carolina, they have refilling stations around the area. You can go to Cutlery.com. That's FILLAREE. They have amazing refillable soaps, cleaning products, hand soaps, all those kinds of things. Oh, and they even have compostable sponges. How awesome is that? Mama Suds is another brand that I love. I had the founder of Mama Suds, Michelle, on my podcast last year, and she sells a concentrated household cleaner that you can refill. She uses a lot of products that you can refill over and over again. And so I'm just a huge fan of her company. And that's a great way that you can reduce your waste. Okay, number 8, since we're in the vein of talking about household and bath products, put a recycling bin or a recycling bag in your bathroom. This is a really interesting thing that I have spoken with a lot of people over the years, and they don't recycle their empty bath products simply because their recycling bin is usually downstairs or in the garage and they're too lazy to walk it down there. And if that is you, there is no judgment from me, but one of those things that will keep you from recycling those empty bath products is just the inability to recycle them easy. So, remove that barrier and put a recycling bag or a recycling bin in your bathroom. And when it's full, then you can walk it downstairs and put it in your recycling bin. Okay, number 9, use reusable grocery bags. Now, this is one that I switched to a year and a half ago, and I, at first, would always forget my grocery bags at home every time I went to the grocery store. So what I did was I created a space in the trunk of my car where I always keep my reusable grocery bags. That way, I always have them. I am never without them. Then when I go grocery shopping, I use my reusable grocery bags. I go home, I empty my groceries, and I put them immediately back in the trunk of my car. And that way, I'm never having to use a plastic grocery bag. Number 10 is going a step further and use reusable produce bags. So if you're at the grocery store and you need to get some produce, instead of grabbing one of those plastic bags there, bring a reusable produce bag. I got mine on Amazon. They're these mesh bags that have drawstrings on them. They come in different sizes. They're washable. I love them. And so just like I keep reusable grocery bags in my car, I also keep these reusable produce bags in my car as well. And they have been a game changer for me. Number 11, since we are on the topic of produce, get your produce from local produce stands, farmers markets, or join a local CSA. Not only are you reducing your carbon footprint by supporting local farmers, but a lot of times when you purchase produce from a produce stand, farmers market, CSA, things like that, they're less likely to use plastic in their presentation of the products or when you take it home. So that is a great way to support local businesses and reduce your impact. Number 12, buy in bulk at your local grocery store. A lot of grocery stores these days have a bulk section. Whole Foods, Sprouts, some of the smaller, more kind of kitschy grocery stores will have these, and you can get some of your staples like rice, flour, lentils, nuts, things like that. You can get from the bulk section. Bring your own bag, like the reusable produce bag type thing, or you can bring a mason jar and you can fill that up from the bulk section. Okay, number 13, switch to reusable, now I put this in quotes, plastic wrap like beeswax wrap. Now, I heard about this about a year and a half ago and switched to it, and it's amazing. You can go on, again, Amazon. You can find it on all types of different websites. And there's a company that's literally called Beeswax Wrap, and they make these. They work just like plastic wrap, but it's made out of beeswax, and it's reusable. You can wash it, and you can use it close to 100 times before you dispose of it, and it's fully biodegradable because it's made out of beeswax. So switch to using that instead of saran wrap or plastic wrap. Number 14, around those same lines, switch to reusable snack bags and lunch containers. Next year, here in a couple weeks, my daughter is headed to kindergarten. So I'm already thinking about finding ways to reduce the waste and plastic when I pack her lunches. So I have found reusable snack bags, reusable sandwich bags on Amazon, and again, other places like that. I'm sure local grocery stores might have them as well these days. So switching to that can really help to cut down on the amount of plastic that you are using. Okay, number 15, switch to cloth napkins. We did this at home, and not only are cloth napkins prettier, but they're really easy to use. And so after you have used them a couple times and they're dirty, you just throw them in the wash and boom, you're ready to go. Also, this is a great way to use up maybe textile waste. So if you have an old shirt or an old, pair of pajamas or something like that has holes in it, you can't donate it, you can't thrift it, anything like that, you can actually cut up the fabric and make your own cloth napkins. Super, super easy. Number 16, along those same lines, switch away from paper towels to reusable kitchen towels or reusable rags. Number 17, ditch tissues for handkerchiefs. My dad, my entire life, has always had a handkerchief in his back pocket, and he just didn't know that he was actually being really green, even though a lot of men from that generation, that's what they do. But just having a handkerchief in your back pocket or in your purse is a great way to switch away from tissues. Number 18, switch out cotton rounds or cotton balls for reusable muslin cloths. That's muslin cloths. I have fallen in love with using muslin cloths for removing makeup or, anything that I'm, even like taking off nail polish, anything like that. There are so many ways that you can use these muslin cloths. You can wash them, reuse them. They are incredible, and I don't even need cotton rounds or cotton balls anymore. Number 19, along those same lines, stop using makeup remover wipes and get a washable makeup remover cloth. My favorite makeup remover cloth is actually the Endure Lash eye cloth. Now, even if you are not somebody that has eyelash extensions, the Endure Lash eye cloth uses only water to remove 99% of your makeup. I actually had the founder of Endure Lash on the podcast over 2 years ago. You should hear her story. It's absolutely incredible, but her product is amazing. I still use it 2 years later, and I can't say enough good things about it. And I have not had to buy makeup removing cloths in over 2 years. Okay, number 20 and 21, these are for my ladies. So men, you can just plug your ears for a couple minutes. Number 20, women, use a menstrual cup instead of tampons. I realize that I should probably do an entire blog post on this, but ladies, use a menstrual cup. It'll change your life. It's amazing. And along those same lines, number 21, instead of pads, use mama cloth. Just Google it. Trust me. It's amazing. Okay. Men, you can unplug your ears now. All right. Moving on to number 22. Mamas, daddies, caregivers switch to cloth diapers instead of disposable diapers. Now, we cloth diapered both of our children. I have written many a blog post on this. In fact, I actually did another follow-up blog post back in, I want to say March of this year, where I talked about all the things that I learned in over 5 years of cloth diapering 2 kiddos. Not only did we save a ton of money over the years on diapers, but the impact that we have had on reducing our waste in the environment is incredible. I can't even think about how many diapers over the years that we have not used because we used cloth diapers. And not to mention, cloth diapers are also really cute. So there's nothing cuter than like a little tiny baby toddling around in a cloth diaper. Seriously, it's adorable. I don't know why it's so cute, but it just is. Number 23, switch to zero waste toilet paper. Now, you're probably like, wait, what? Zero waste toilet paper? So this is another company that I was introduced to a little over a year ago, and you're going to laugh at the name of it, and it's called Who Gives a Crap? It's the best name for a toilet paper company ever. I really want to have the founders on the podcast because the name of their company is just the best for a toilet paper company. Who gives a crap? Well, a lot of people in the zero waste community love Who Gives a Crap because their products are made out of recyclable materials. Each toilet paper roll is wrapped in paper, which can be recycled, and the toilet paper rolls are compostable. So essentially, their toilet paper rolls are zero waste, which is pretty awesome. The only thing that isn't is the tape that is on the box when they mail it to you, which apparently they're actually working on trying to move away from using that at all and finding an alternative for that. So my family and I use the Who Gives a Crap toilet paper. We love it, and it'll just make you laugh. Okay, number 24, use rechargeable batteries. This is a pretty straightforward, simple one, but how many batteries do you go through all the time? Especially if you're a parent and you have toys that require batteries, you will go through them faster than you can say, why do we have so many toys in the house? So switch to rechargeable batteries. Number 25, when it comes time to getting rid of clothes, consign or trade them. In fact, go to episode 130 of this podcast, the Marie Kondo trend episode, and listen to all of the ways that I talk about ways that you can sustainably get rid of clothing in your closet. Okay, number 26, ask yourself these 3 things before you throw something out. Number 1, can I repair it? Number 2, if I can't repair it, is there another use for it? And number 3, how sustainably can I dispose of it? Sometimes just taking that moment to ask that question before you literally throw something out. Remember that it's going to a landfill. It doesn't just disappear. So see if there's a way you can repair it. See if there's another use for it. Can you donate it? Or can you how sustainably can you dispose of this item? Number 27, buy toys more sustainably. This is for my parents. Now, I'm not telling you to not get your kids toys, but I am telling you to think a little bit more sustainably. Can you buy them used toys from a consignment shop or local buy-sell pages or from Craigslist or the Facebook Marketplace, something like that? And if there is a particular toy that they really, really, really want, can you buy it more sustainably? Like, can you buy a version that isn't made out of plastic? Can you buy a version that's made out of wood or more sustainable materials, green materials? There's even an entire company, I believe, called Green Toys that makes plastic toys out of recycled plastic, and they are fully recyclable themselves. So that's a great way to reduce your impact just in the way that you buy toys for your kids. Okay, number 28 is go paperless. So many banks and credit card companies, billing companies are willing to switch to paperless statements. So contact your utility companies, contact your mortgage company, contact your bank, anybody that you're receiving a bill or statement from, and ask to go paperless. I guarantee you 99.999% of the time they will happily agree because it's cheaper for them and it's better for the environment. And number 29, along those same lines, you can unsubscribe from unwanted catalogs or snail mail lists and magazines. There are a couple websites that you can do this from. One is called Catalog Choice and one is called DMA Choice. You can go to these 2 websites, insert your information, and they will unsubscribe you from these unwanted mailing lists. And that helps to reduce the amount of junk mail that you receive. So, I mean, everybody wants to receive less junk mail. So it's a win-win for everyone. Number 30, if you are a bookworm like me, borrow books from the library. I know, what a novel concept. So many parents I talk to are not hesitant at all to get books from the library for their kids, but forget or they don't think to get books from the library for themselves. So that's a great way to read a lot of the books that you really want to read is just by getting it from the library. And number 31, last but not least, is compost. Now, if the idea of composting is super overwhelming to you, there are actually services out there that will compost for you. For the last couple months, my family and I has actually been trying out a service called Compost Now. This is not a sponsored mention. This is just a company that we've been trying out and I've loved it. Compost Now is currently in a few cities in North Carolina. They're in Charleston, South Carolina, as well as Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're in any of those listening areas, check them out. You can go to stillbeingmolly.com/compost now and get a 2-week free trial. That's stillbeingmolly.com/compost now for a 2-week free trial. And they are expanding to more cities. Now, Compost Now might not be in your city, but there might be another service very similar to it. And so the way it works is we have a little compost bin that we have on our back porch, and it gives you a list of everything that is compostable. That's, everything from obviously food scraps to napkins and paper towels and paper towel rolls to, chicken bones and all those kinds of things, or dead plants. You can put them in the compost bin, and then once a week, we put it out on our front porch. They come, they pick it up, they leave us a new compost bin, and then every so often, we can actually request the compost that our food has made, and they will deliver free compost to you. So it's pretty awesome. You should check it out. See if there's a service like that in your area. And that's a really great way to, again, reduce your waste, live more sustainably, and have a more positive impact on the environment. So those are the 31 tips to reduce your waste and reduce your impact on the environment. I hope these were helpful. Don't think that you have to all of a sudden implement all 31 into your lives, but maybe there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 that you can implement today or tomorrow to reduce your impact on the environment and to just live more sustainably. And a lot of these things too are more affordable than living kind of the way you have been. So you might even save money along the way. I hope you loved this episode, and I would actually really love to know what you learned or something that you liked or maybe something that you are going to implement. So if you do, please let me know on social media. You can find me at Still Being Molly or at Business with Purpose Podcast on Instagram or Facebook, and you can use the hashtag Business with Purpose Podcast. Now, I want to thank you one more time to our sponsor. That's the Happiness Planner. Visit thehappinessplanner.com and use that coupon code Live with Purpose for 10% off. As always, thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you're a first-time listener of the show, welcome. Be sure to visit the archives for so many incredible past shows featuring amazing entrepreneurs and business owners who are changing the world with their businesses. And if you are a regular listener of the show, thank you for tuning in and week out, and thank you for your support. Be sure to head on over to iTunes, Spotify, Radio Public, Google Play, wherever you listen to podcasts, and click that subscribe button. Clicking that subscribe button helps to make sure you never miss a new episode of the podcast. And while you're there, would you mind taking a moment to leave a review of the show? Leaving a review helps me to know what you're liking and how the show is personally impacting you. This show is edited by my amazing husband and executive producer, John Stillman, with support from Kelly Dalton, and the music is by Mark Killian of Third Wheel Media. Thank you so much for listening. Now go do something good with purpose on purpose.